People's Radio United.
Sure. One is, I've heard people say, well, what's the point of cop watching? Cops can firebomb a nursery on video and, they won't get charged with anything. And there's some truth to that. I mean, we see cops doing horrible shit on video all the time, outright murdering people, and nothing happens to them. And so there is that, but what would you say to somebody who says, well, it's just hopeless because cops won't get in trouble anyway?
I disagree with that. I think it's taking a very, very long time, but there are police employees that are finally getting fired, and it's not just criminal charges. You can also go for civil damages against a police officer. So even if that police officer does not get in criminal trouble or get fired for that, you can help that person out by recovering, monetary losses with that video. I mean, my videos have been cited in civil court suits against police officers. So that shows me it is extremely important to record police officers' interactions with members of the public. Just recently, one of my videos was cited in a case in which a woman was paid out, I think, $38,000 by the St. Paul Police Department. And part of the evidence was that officer had a history of retaliating against people that filmed them. So it's not just the criminal aspect, it's also the civil aspect that people should pay attention to when filming police.
I'm really glad you brought that up because, lawsuits, unfortunately, are really the thing we have mostly when it comes to accountability because, until more cops get held accountable, which you say you see starting to happen, I think I might too, but, it is taking a long time. In the meantime, what you can hope is that there's enough lawsuits against a cop where a city just gets sick of it and kicks him to the curb. And even that's a hard process, but, it's one of the few things we have to try and enforce any accountability. And if a cop commits misconduct, they're not as good at covering it up as you would think they are. A lot of times there's some kind of smoking gun there. Right. That a lawyer who is trained in civil rights matters, and who has the knowledge can go in and find, and show a jury.
Yeah, and producing these videos and putting them out on YouTube or whatever also notifies the community that they work in about this officer's actions. They'll know to that this is a really bad cop and they have to watch themselves around this cop. So it is also helping the community know who the bad actors are. It definitely helps oust the bullies.
Exactly, very important thing. This is just kind of a matter of curiosity for me. Mm-hmm. But you've done a lot of cop watching, and in your experience, what obviously some cops have been like, okay, fine, film me, and other cops have been like really had a problem with it and been hostile and tried to intimidate you. What in your experience has that ratio been?
When I started doing this like 5-6 years, maybe 7 years ago, it was more hostile. Cops didn't understand. They really didn't understand what the point was of Cop Watch. Now they're getting it. There's a lot of police employees that'll actually have me move closer. They're like, this is what I'm doing. They'll explain the situation. They've gotten more used to it. I've also had people commanders from different policing agencies around Minnesota send me copies of their policies for dash cams or body cams or stuff like that, and ask me to go over it for them because they want to do better policing. So the whole scene has changed in the past few years because of people recording police. Good cops don't seem to mind it, and the bad ones still detest it. And they'll still try to shine their light in your camera or whatever they can to thwart you from doing this. But I've seen a lot more police employees now be accepting of it, and even in some cases inviting.
Right. I've seen YouTube videos of that. I've also, since I was assaulted by police, I've had instances where I just turned on a camera. A cop showed up, I turned on my camera, and I actually had a cop say their name and badge number. Mm-hmm. So, for anybody out there who's thinking this is a constantly confrontational situation, it's not a constantly confrontational situation, and in a lot of situations it doesn't have to be. So Don't be scared of that. Those situations do come up, but a lot of times this can go smooth. Don't be scared that every time you're going to do this, you're going to have to fortify yourself, and you're going to have to, deal with all of the psychological pressure and fear. Right. And, it happens sometimes, but not so much that you can't handle it. Right. I mean,
if your listeners check out my YouTube channel, if you look at some of my older videos, a lot of the police employees will be standoffish or confrontational. And then this paradigm shift happens where they're used to me and they know me, and they'll call me by name, and they'll offer information about what's going on. It completely changed, and that I attribute to the fact that I've kept up with this, that I'm not going away, that this needs to be done, and certain police employees have researched it on their own, and they realize that this does help get rid of the bad people, and so they're a lot more friendly towards me than they used to be. It's still there are some bad experiences with officers that don't want to be on film, that don't want to be held accountable, that don't want to see their colleagues and coworkers held accountable. But for the vast majority, they're a lot more friendly than they used to be.
Right. Now, you mentioned people can watch your videos, and this is a great way to end this interview. At the beginning, you said where people can find your work and where people can learn more about you and where people can get a hold of you with questions, for advice. Can you run us through those again, and then we'll wrap this up?
Definitely. So the biggest thing that I'm promoting right now is my website, which is www.thedrewks.com, which has information about cop watching, know your rights, jury nullification, different liberty aspects. I put this website together just to help educate people more. It also has a contact form if you want to contact me. You can check out my YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedrewks. I'm on Twitter @thedrewks, or on Facebook, which is facebook.com/thedrewks. And I'm always eager to help people with problems they might have. It might take me a couple days to get back to somebody. Just like I said, I'm working full time in school, social life. So don't be thwarted by that. But I try to get back to everybody that needs help as quickly as possible. So if you have a question or a concern, definitely get a hold of me. I'm all for that.
But why are you going to school and so busy? Isn't Soros paying you enough?
Yeah, I'm still waiting for my check.
I know we all are. So the right wingers tell us it's coming though. So
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I check that mailbox every day, just waiting for it.